I bring in my perspective as someone who's a technologist who has worked extensively in building technology for explicit social good. I did that for close to 10 years, and then the last couple of years I've been focused on robotics and not necessarily explicitly focused on social good, but out here in Silicon Valley. And I draw on these experiences of technologies that have scaled to over 40 countries and a few million users and so on. I'll start by acknowledging something that Nikhil said right in the beginning, which is none of what we talk about matter if this is not in the framework of a constitutional democracy, right? Then all bets are off. If that's off, all bets are off. Sitting at this point here in Silicon Valley, I have to say some of the things in the chapter already feel dated. Right? Technology is progressing very, very fast. And on the other hand, there are some things that still remain true, and I'll touch upon both of these. Many of you know about the tremendous tech progress that's happening. I have close visibility into a bunch of this stuff with everything that's happening with large language models. Today we have systems that can write code. You have systems that can rewrite their own code, right? Reprogram themselves. We have robots walking around in factories. Not wide, there aren't too many of them out there yet, but that's going to change. And I look out this window and I can see self-driving cars driving by. And I just have to book an app on my phone and I can take a ride in there. Right? So things are changing very fast, right? And these things will hit all corners of the globe. Looking at all this stuff happening, it is not out of the realm of imagination that we can see a future of abundance possible, right? The possibilities are clear. What is less clear to me is if it is a future of abundance for all. Because historically we have not been very good at distributing any form of abundance fairly. Having said that, I'll also go to some things that were written in the chapter that I would say still hold true. I'll start with something my friend Nikita said, which is that technology is ultimately an amplifier of human intent. Right? So back in the day, when we discovered fire, we could use it to cook food, have light at night, fend off wild animals, and we could set fire to the neighboring village. Right? The story of technology remains the same. It remains only an amplifier of human intent. Now, generally, the history of it has been you develop stuff, you deploy carefully, and as you see bad things happening, you re-engineer so that you put systems in place, not just technological solutions. Often they aren't just technological solutions. You put systems in place to minimize the bad and maximize the good. But all this makes sense only in a situation of positive intent. And digital technologies, this is also generally been true of technology, but digital technologies in particular have the potential to bring disproportionate power to governments over citizens because of the very nature of how centralizing it can be. Right? I also want to acknowledge that in the context of the developing countries, the technology has tremendous potential, right? And this is some of the work that, for example, we were doing at Kodali AI. We were developing new technology for identifying TB patients, huge health burden in India. We were working on identifying low birth weight babies, again, tremendous health burden. We worked on solutions that actually help the yield for cotton farmers by preventing pest attacks and so on. So tons of possibilities exist, useful things that can be done with technology. But like I said, ensuring that the good is maximized and the bad is minimized can only be done if we have good governance institutions to govern these technologies. And maybe the last thing I will say is an exhortation to my fellow technologists out there, which is long gone are those days when one could say, oh, that I'm only building technology. It's not for me to decide how it's going to be used or what its impacts are. No, we are well past that BS now. We are all responsible for the consequences of our creations, and so as technologists, we cannot wash our hands of the consequences of the technologies we create.